Good morning, everybody. My name is Heather O'Day from the band Mass Transit here in Tucson, Arizona, and I have a very special super guest star with me today. This is Minnie Mouse. Say hi, camera. Hi, everybody in internet land. This is my little dog. Minnie turned 15 on February 8th. She is a bug, B-U-G-G, and that is a Boston Terrier Pug mix. She hates the overhead lights as much as I do, but she can't help but stare at them. So I'm going to put her down and say thank you. Bye, internet land. Bye. Today I thought I would film a get ready with me for all of my other female musicians out there who have issues. And a lot of people ask me, how do you get ready for your day when you have a gig and you get to work in the morning and you have a gig at night and you need everything to go day to night, blah, blah, blah. Luckily, that is not this day. I had a chance to sleep in, I got a chance to relax, and I'm gonna get a chance to tell you all about where I was last week because I didn't post anything. So let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna start with the night cream by Brandless. This stuff is very light. It's cruelty-free, and I start by just smashing this all over my face, quite literally. And you probably have the dry skin ASMR going on right now. So last week I was in Tampa, Florida at the Empower Music and Arts Posse Fest 2019. It was the 14th annual Posse Awards, which is kind of like the Grammys for people who make positive music with a happy message and blah, blah, blah. And this year was the first year that they actually gave an award out to a celebrity that is working to further a message of happiness and positivity, and that was given to Jason Mraz. He was not there, but he made a nice video for all of us to watch, which was very, very cool. And this is from the March Ipsy bag. This is Answer From Luminous Collagen Eye Cream. I started using this last week when I was at sea level instead of being in the desert. Oh, and I loved it. I love it so much. So now it looks like I'm gonna cry. But this stuff feels so good. It's soothing, it's calming, and it helps get rid of the bags and dark circles, which might actually be makeup from yesterday. Now that I think about it, it probably is. But it doesn't matter because when I'm in a hurry and when I'm on gig day, anything that fills in the pores and fills in the wrinkles and the crepiness is okay by me. Okay. Primer. That's the next thing. And I use e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. I like the formula. It's nice and inexpensive. It works for me. And I just put this, again, just all over my face. Just let it be. So there's that. Okay, so my primer has dried down, and I'm going to show you what I like to use just on a typical day. Today just seems to be kind of a low maintenance, low energy type of a day for me. So when I'm in a really big hurry, I love to use this stuff. This is the Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse. I use Classic Ivory. It's light number 2. You just take a little scoop out and you put it all over your face, and it instantly covers up the sins. And when I'm on a stage like I'm going to be today, I mean, this stuff literally lasts all night. Better than 24-hour, 24-hour express wear or whatever. And it doesn't have to be buildable because it reminds me so much of like Ben Nye pancake makeup. So it works to even out your skin tone. very quickly. And now my hands are all covered in foundation, but that's okay. And I'm going to do just a little bit more in a couple places where the product didn't really spread very well. See that? I mean, it literally wipes away every sin on your face. Amazing stuff. And I can go right up into the hairline with it. And the fact that it's nice and cakey like this, see that? You can actually see the balls of it on my face now. It actually also makes it sweat proof, energy proof, desert heat, desert wind, and tear proof, which are all things that I personally have to worry about. I don't necessarily get emotional on stage, but when stage lights hit me, my right eye has really horrible problems like astigmatism, and I actually have some blood vessel roots growing into my cornea, so my right eye tears up, especially being light sensitive. So it goes under the stage lights. Even being out in the sun in the desert every day, I cry constantly. It's just story of my life. So when I do my eye look, I need everything to be literally tear proof and waterproof. So I'm gonna wash my hands. I'll be right back. Time for contour. I like to use Flower Beauty, just from Wally World. This is the shade BD3, Bravo Dog 3. And this is the Brush Bronzer Duo in Shimmering Goddess. It is a lot darker than you would imagine. I mean, I use it every day, so I've finally hit pan on this after having it for a while. You get a little bit of kickback with it, but I don't mind. I need the makeup to be heavy because I need it to last all day, and I need it to show up under stage lights. So that's what I'm going to do right now. For this one, lately, I am loving using the e.l.f. small tapered brush. You can only get this on Amazon now. They don't carry it at Ulta, they don't carry it at Sephora, you can't get it at the grocery store, you can't get it at the big box store. I may have gotten the last ones in existence because I have tried to order multiples of this and I can't find them to save my life. But the bristles are synthetic, fully synthetic, awfully nice and soft. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do some contour. Back to my story about Florida. I had such a good time. People in that posse music community, the vast majority of them are church music directors, but they focus on what's called New Thought. So if you're familiar with the teachings of Ernest Holmes, Edgar Cayce, if you're spiritual yet not religious, New Thought Center is the place for you. So there were a lot of church music directors. There were also a lot of, singer-songwriters that prefer to be more on the happy, positive side of things as opposed to, negativity. A lot of them they also have like social change, social activism. In the Posse Awards, there's a social change category. So I think I'm going to enter one of my songs next year. I just wasn't brave enough to do it this year, but next year. So, all right, next portion of this is the other half, the blush half, and I use the Maleficent brush that I showed off on my last video, and again I just load up the brush, tap it off, and go to town. But this is not the end of the story with the blush, y'all. You'll see that in a second. I want to go over my face. I want to go over my forehead a little bit more because this is going to help. So yeah, so I got to be around, and the likes of Pam Rose, who wrote I'll Still Be Loving You, and I got to be around Ricky Byers, formerly Ricky Byers Beckwith, who was the music director and wrote a lot of music for the Agape Church out in Los Angeles. Oprah really, really loves the Agape Church. And let's see, who else? Oh my gosh, so many people. Scott Ainsley, Daniel Namod. I've met him before. I met him in Phoenix at the Regional Music Directors Conference. A lot of people in this circle also used to be or still are Nashville songwriters, Nashville musicians. So I got a lot of insight in all these lectures that I attended about songwriting, singing, marketability, etc. So, in addition to tips and tricks for your Sunday services. And I like the blendability of this particular formula, which is Hard Candy Glamouflage, also something you can get at Walmart. I use a nice combination of discount store stuff, luxury stuff, drugstore, whatever. That's all the fun of makeup, is that whatever application works for you in that particular season or that point in time. I just turned over liquid foundations too. So here we go. Foundation is done, concealer is done, contour is as done as I want it to be at this stage. So I'll put this away and go ahead and do some baking. Look what I just got, y'all. This is a wet, this is that Velvet Beauty Blender sponge. It's not Beauty Blender brand. It's the, I can't remember the actual first name brand of it, but this is one that came from a K-beauty brand on AliExpress. So it's got this velvety touch to it. It spreads the foundation just beautifully when you're using it for foundation, and it actually grabs onto your powder when you bake, which is just amazing. It just makes the whole process so much more efficient. Look at that. Oh man. And this is a real easy bake as well. Easy bake oven. I am using L'Oreal Infallible, and I will show you that once the cover is back on the pan. There we go. Baking. See that? Two dips and it's done. This sponge is amazing. And this one cost, I think, $1.50 on AliExpress. It was like 69 cents plus whatever shipping. And sometimes when you pay for the shipping, you actually get a better price than if you just filter the free shipping stuff. So this is the Infallible Pro Sweep and Lock Translucent Setting Powder. I got this last year in Phoenix at the drugstore when I forgot my other baking powder that I was using. I do like white. I really like white because it shows up, but without getting the flashback. So this one is the Dusk Till Dawn Ultraviolet Neutrals. I just got this yesterday at the discount store at TJ Maxx. You can see this outline right here, and you can kind of see a little bit of discoloration on a couple of these because as some of the things from TJ Maxx do, the pans actually fell out of the palette when I first opened it, so I had to just super glue them shut. So I lost a little bit of color on here. So I figured today I would do a purpley look. It's kind of a send up on the Huda Beauty Desert Sands palette that you find at Sephora. This is the Wet n Wild Shimmer Take on the Day eyeshadow primer in the shade A Little Party, and it is a shimmer. It takes every eyeshadow shade that you have and turns it into a shimmer, a base. This is part of the Fergie collection, which is probably like 3 years old now. I still use it because it is that good, and I still have so much of this product left in this tube. When it's gone, I'm going to be so sad, but I've already started testing out new stuff to compensate for it. I also picked this up at TJ Maxx. This is the Marc Jacobs Undercover Eyeshadow Primer. Perfecting Coconut Eye Primer. I really enjoy this one, but because my skin is so fair anyway, it doesn't show up, so I can't really do a whole lot with it to like physically cut a crease. And I want a little bit of glamour tonight on stage, so I'm just going to go ahead and dip right into this Fergie. You probably heard Minnie sniffing and snorting underneath me too. And again, I just apply this with my finger. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. I just, I lay it on thick. And this is a formula where you can lay it on thick because it doesn't crease. It's very hard for me personally to find things that don't crease, especially when I need them to perform all night long. Literally when I'm performing. And you probably see on my Instagram, I post looks almost daily. I didn't do anything last week because I was at the conference, but you see, after an 8, 12, 16 hour eyewear test on some of these looks, I use this primer and you can barely tell the difference. All right, y'all, I'm back. Hi. So Steven just took Minnie for a walk and she's all tuckered out. I can hear her panting. So as far as more about Florida, oh yes. I had such a blast, as I keep saying. There was non-stop concerts. It was exhausting. They have this thing called pajama jams where different artists will literally rent out a hotel room for the night and give showcase performances. And they invite people to jam in and just enjoy each other's company all night long. And one of my absolute music mentors, whether she realized it or not, and I guess now that she does, because I totally was a little starstruck by her all weekend long, was Janice Stanfield. I like her for her posy music, songs like I'm Not Lost, I'm Exploring. And that seems to work out really well because I'm exploring this palette. Ayahuasca. This is this neon purple shade right here. It's called Ayahuasca. Funny. So let's see if I put this on, will I transcend anything? So that was quite an experience to actually spend time with her. Like literally, I didn't get a chance to sit down and pick her brain about anything because she was, she's really big in that circle, and she was being pulled in a million different directions. Same thing with Ricky Byers and all them. They just didn't have an opportunity to really sit down and pick her brain about anything. But I got a number. So I'll be talking with her eventually. I'm just going to keep going on this. I'm going to be quiet. I'm really glad that I did a bake because there's a lot of fallout. Looks like I've got this really pretty sunset look going on. I'm going to darken up the crease a little bit with this shade right here. It's called Wild. It's like this burnt brick color. Very pretty. The color payoff isn't exactly what I would want it to be, but that's okay. Now I'm going to wet my brush with a little bit of setting spray, and this is just that Smoke and Mirrors Misty Natural setting spray, and dip into this bright magenta shimmer called Mojave, like the Mojave Desert. Not the desert that I live in, but that's okay. And I'm just going to go right in the middle and do like a spotlight. Honestly, y'all, I'm not too happy with the payoff on this. I need more than that. I'm gonna go back in with my Fergie shimmer. Cut that crease a little bit in the middle. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I'm gonna go in with the brand new brush that I got in the March Ipsy bag that I didn't know how to pronounce the name of, and I still don't know. I'm just gonna really dig in here. Not a whole lot of kickback on this, but there's also not a whole lot of color coming off on the brush either. So let's see how this looks now with a cut crease happening. Give it something a little better to stick onto. That's better. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. And then I will go back in with the ayahuasca shade and just define that crease a little more with that same brush. There we go. Now I'm happier with that. Good. All right. So, all right. Not as exciting as I would have wanted it to be, but it's okay. I'm going to dust off this bake and hopefully all that fallout that comes along with it. Yeah. All right, I'm actually going to switch to a different product altogether. Not necessarily a palette, but I did discover this stuff the other day. This is another drugstore product, and I'm going to be using this Wet n Wild fountain, concealer type brush. It's got a little more substantial of a bristle because this is a cream product. This is the Revlon Color Stay Bold Cream Eyeshadow in the shade Stardust 805. And I am going to do that right under the brow. Just dip right into it and just give me some highlight right underneath the brow bone. There we go. That's much better. Okay, great. Using that same brush, I am going to go back to my knockoff blood sugar palette, and I'm going to go into the shade, it's supposed to be Candy Floss, but they call it Kanky Floose. Too funny. And this palette actually has a pretty good mirror that goes with it. So I'm just going to dip right in and go right into the edges right here. Give myself a little more shimmer in there. That's good. Good. All right, and then I am going to go back in with a fluffier angled shadow brush and go into the knockoff shade Glucose or Glucose. Honestly, I feel like I would get a better payoff altogether if I had just stuck with my knockoff blood sugar palette. I'm going to go in with this teensy brush and go into the shade Coma. Do some additional lining right under the eye. Right under the lash line. There we go. Go right into that lash line. I have a couple hours to play, y'all, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep playing. Here's a Wet n Wild brush with a little bit of a denser bristle to it, and this is the shade. Yeah, that's the kind of payoff that I'm looking for. Because now the shadow portion is over, finally. I'm going to go in and do some highlight, and I'm going to go in with this really fun, fabulous Marina and Demi highlighter palette. I really enjoy the shades that are in here, and this works really great as a face highlighter as well as an eye highlight. I'm going to go in with a very small brush, and I think I'm going to go for this pinky shade in the middle. Now, since I have all of this purple and pink on my eye, I'm not going to use my Mint Condition palette because I've covered up all the redness in my face. So I'm going to go in with the Ofra Star Island highlighter, which was also in the Ipsy bag in March, and just give myself a little bit of highlight on either side. Blinding. Blend that into the shadow line a little bit, or the blush line rather. Good. Good. I'm happy with that. Quick shout out to Alex and Barnett at Duty Free in Houston. Thank you so much. You have guided me to the light using this Dior shadow pencil. I am absolutely in love with it. And it even came with its own little sharpener, but luckily I've already got my own little pencil sharpener. So I'm just going to go ahead in and just do these brows. This pencil is so soft. You need literally the lightest touch, but this today is just the first layer because of the whole, being on stage thing. I'm just gonna outline, feather it in, and make a little tail, Pencil's done. Boom. And the next portion of brows today is to go in with the LA Colors Brow Tint, and this is actually from the Dollar Tree. I like the color, and I like how the brow gel actually makes my eyebrows stay in place. Look at that. Boom, boom. My eyebrows are usually very, very messy. I am quite the hirsute lady, unfortunately. So I've got to really carve out a brow if I haven't had them done recently, which I haven't. So that's going to be it for brows today, y'all. Here they are, finished product. They don't have to be too defined because nobody's going to be that close to me. So going back in with that cream blush, this is what I was talking about. See how after the bake and everything, the blush is kind of worn down, but it gave me like a temporary line to work with. So now I'm going to go in with the Color Icon Cream Blush from Wet n Wild. That's the color changing one from black to custom skin tone color. Freaking awesome. I reviewed that in my last video and I fell in love with it, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that today. And I love that. Look at that. And now that the lighting isn't doing that weird thing today, I'm just going to put that on. And the cream blush actually serves as kind of like an extra layer of protection when I'm on stage. I am totally into that. It's going to dry down and become even pinker. I'm going to do another black layer here and just brighten up that blush even more. There we go. So that is going to continue to color change. As we saw in the last video, it actually takes a little while for it to finally dry down to its final skin tone color. But I really love the purple cast that it has, especially with the purple makeup, the purple eye. Next thing, I'm just going to go ahead and do a waterproof black liquid line. I don't do anything really special for the eyeliner, and it's just going to go right here. And I've been doing this long enough that it really takes me no time at all. I just slop it on. When I was in high school, I was one of those really annoying girls that did their makeup on the school bus. And I got really good at doing eyeliner on the bus. And with the lower lash line, I just go right into the center of the eye. And then once that's set, then I do the rest. Boom. There it is. Eyes are lined. I am happy with that. So I'm just going to go right in with a waterproof mascara. And today I am going real simple. I'm starting with a waterproof coat of CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume. I love the French word for waterproof, hydrofuge. And I have long lashes anyway, so it's not very often anymore that I will actually do falsies. And there's the eye look, done, complete, finished, the end. I'm talking with you guys right now, I'm doing Get Ready With Me, so it took a lot longer than it normally takes me to do something like this. So today, to finish this look off, I am going to do, you guessed it, purple lips. I'm going to go ahead and start with my Jeffree Star Velour liquid lip in I'm Royalty and just put that all over. Then I'm going to go in with this Chi Best long-lasting lip gloss. They call it a lip gloss, however, I like it as a liquid lip because it does dry down very nicely. And I'm going to do that as a second layer. I'm going to let that dry down, and then I'm going to finish the entire thing off with a product that I have had for quite a long time. And this is yet another knockoff for me. I really enjoy it though. This is so much fun. This is my knockoff Lime Crime Diamond Crushers Lip Topper in the shade Trip. I've been using this one for, I want to say since late 2016 maybe. And again, it's one of those prize things. When I first discovered the knockoff makeup lines on AliExpress, this was one of my prize things. And now, of course, they're selling Diamond Crusher at TJ Maxx. It's a blue one, but now I see that's sufficiently dried down, so I'm going to go ahead and finish that off with some topper right in the middle. And there is my purple ombre lip. All right, y'all, so extensive makeup is done. I am gonna go ahead and top this all off and keep this Color Icon lip gloss with me all day long. This is in the shade Virgo, and I absolutely love how this turns out. It looks a little brown in the tube, but it adds this beautiful glitter. Okay, I said that I was done with contour and highlight and face, but I lied. I'm gonna go back into that new palette and use the shade Oasis and give my nose some more definition. So I go in with this really tiny thin brush, right? This Wet n Wild brush, and then I go in with the wide edge of the brush and I blend it all out into my nose. Instant nose job. I love it. Back in with my Ofra highlighter. One little sweep right there on the bridge of the nose and on the tip. A little bit on the Cupid's bow and a little on the chin. Now color is done. Thank you very much. And I'm going to go ahead and finish it off with some setting spray. A lot of setting spray. Now it's time to get dressed. This is the really fun part, y'all. I start out with a girdle, like a bodysuit leotard type girdle. It has incredibly strong support here. On bigger days where I'm not as involved in setting things up as I am in actually just getting on stage and performing, I will actually wear a corset over top of this. Then I follow it up with these. These are leggings with control that goes all the way down. These are almost calf length. And just your typical strapless bra. This is actually a convertible bra. It's one of those ones that you can put the straps anywhere you want. But for this, because I already have so much on my shoulders, I don't worry about putting straps on the bra because it's just extra on my shoulders and I end up just hiking it up all day anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on. I'll show you what it looks like. I'll be back. All right, y'all, here it is. This is the control top pants followed by the bodysuit And the bra is underneath there, of course. So it turns me into that. And then once my clothes are on, then you can't really tell where any of those lines are, but that's what I go through. Well, here it is, y'all. That's the finished clothing look. See? Hourglass figure. Can't really tell that I have anything on underneath. And I look like I'm probably 2 or 3 sizes smaller than I actually am. Even from the side. It just looks normal. So that's what I have to do to look like I have a regular figure. And today I decided to go with my sparkly jeans, which I wear to almost every concert now lately because they're so comfortable and they're so flashy. I get compliments on them every time I wear them. I love them. Those were my $6 find at Goodwill. They're Coldwater Creek. They probably retailed for somewhere around $150. And this is a shirt that one of my dear friends from the center gave me. I saw it on her one day. I said, oh, that looks really cute. And the very next week, she packed it up, gave it to me, and she said, oh, this will look better on you than it does on me. And I don't know if I agree, but I do love wearing it, especially for country-type concerts. So there you go, guys. There's the finished look. Woohoo! And see how the purple sunset thing in this top